Hello everyone, here we have a 2005 Toyota Tacoma. This is the 4-cylinder version. This is what it looks like right here. It's a 2.7 liter. And let's get started. First we will start off by disconnecting the battery. So that's the first thing I'm going to do right now. Next we will remove the intake. This will be the first bolt you will have to remove. This will be the second bolt that you will have to remove. And this will be the third bolt that you will have to remove. You will also need to unloosen that clamp that you see me unloosening right now, just enough to disconnect it from the housing of the intake, and it will come off. And you will also need to unplug that hose right there. Next, you will also unloosen this clamp just enough so you can remove the intake, as you see me doing right now. The next step would be to take some pliers and clamp down those clamps so you can remove those two hoses that you see back there. This is that hose that you will have to remove, and these are the clamps that you're going to have to unclamp with some pliers in order to get it off. So now you are ready to remove the intake. You're going to pull up on it as I'm doing right now. You see how smooth that is? And you will do the same for the other side. Now before you are fully able to remove the intake, there is one more hose back there that you will have to pull off, and you will also have to unclamp this wiring harness that I'm about to show you, that one right there, and then you should be able to remove it just fine. So this is the hose that I was talking about that you will have to take off, that one right there, in order to remove the intake. This is what it's going to look like after you remove the intake. Next, we will remove the wiring harness from the ignition coils, and you will do so by pressing on the tab and pulling it out. The next step will be to unloosen this wiring harness from this plastic holders. I will show you how to do it on one, and then you can do the rest on your own. I will zoom in so you can see better. Using a flathead, you can pry the little tab at the bottom of the clamp. I'm holding it with my index finger, and then I'm pushing up on that clamp. That way you can unloosen the rest of the wiring harness, and it will free the wiring harness. Next, we will remove the ignition coils. By using a 10mm socket, you'll be able to loosen free the ignition coils and be able to remove it. It's a little snug, but you can pull it out pretty easily. Next, using a 10mm socket, you will remove the bolts from the valve cover. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There should be about 13 of them. You will remove them all. Alright, so back here you have to remove that hose from the PCV valve. I'm also going to be replacing the PCV valve, but in order to remove that cover, you're going to have to remove that hose from the PCV valve by taking off that clamp or pushing it towards the back. One of those 13 bolts goes down there. You're going to have to use something to pry that metal hose backwards, as you see me doing right now. You need to push on it a little bit. It's a little tricky, but you'll figure it out. Here we're going to remove 8 bolts for the middle valve cover gasket that goes where the ignition coils go in. So here we go. There will be 2 bolts per ignition coil. So since it's a 4-cylinder, there will be 8 of them. That's what one of them looks like. Do that for all 8. Alright, so we are all ready to remove the valve cover. It's a little tight there. Again, it hasn't been taken off for a while, but yes, you can see me just you just pull on it and you'll get it off. Alright, so this is what it looks like without the valve cover. Now, one thing I recommend you to do is all those edges, you're going to have to clean it. You're going to have to use some carburetor spray cleaner and scrub it out and just, prepare for the next one to be, so it could be nice and clean. Here is the valve cover. You can see the gasket right there. I don't know how well you can see in camera, but it's not looking very good. And here's the middle valve cover gasket, and this is what the new ones look like. That's actually the wrong PCV valve. I will show you shortly what it should look like, but those are the new gaskets. That's the right PCV valve. I will be removing. I already unloosened it, but I'm taking it off right now, and this is the right one. So that's the PCV valve change right there. Here I have already cleaned the valve cover, and after that I installed both the inner and outer valve cover gaskets. I recommend you to clean not only the valve cover but also where the valve cover gaskets sit on the engine block, as I did right here. As you can see, it's already clean, and I also recommend you to put in a little bit of valve cover gasket sealer. That's what you see in red right there, and you'll be good to go. Alright, so we are ready to put this thing back together. Just follow the reverse order and you should be good. It takes about 24 hours for that red valve cover sealer to cure. After that, you can start your engine like I did, and there are no more leaks on the side of this engine. So we did a very good job. Hopefully my video was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you all for watching.